You are in the wrong spot. Like, moving via rail is all fun and fast and all that, but it stops us from even getting like, it blocks even more the railroad, and it clogs it up even more, and we obviously already have issues there. So yeah, these security units will move on. 6 army. That's 6 army headquarter itself will move up a bit as well. What's the rest of 6 army now? Is moving towards Rovno. Rebuild that division. Kiami, what brings you here? Okay, let's move all of these units up here as well. But this is not the unit that will take Rovno. Six army of Stalingrad fame. Moving on here. Wait, he left Rovno. Okay, we take Rovno. He really plays a defensive playstyle. Like, he gives up a lot of free territory. Does he have units there? Yes. And we can't attack because it's across the river. So that's important for him that he disengage there. Okay, get some more depots. But no units in them. Yeah, obviously easy strike there. That slows us down a bit more. Doesn't have a unit here either. Okay. Is it in the north of it? Slightly better terrain, I guess, but interesting. Okay, this unit shouldn't really do much. Okay, it still gets 45 hours. Meanwhile, we move on here. That unit in front of Tarnopol has to be beaten. $12,000. Man, defeated here. Yes, that was a solid small pocket. Cleared up there. And this unit moves on, frees all of these Hungarian forces here. We'll have to strike that pocket over here. Like, this Hungarian corps being up there for cleaning up dirty is fine. This one here is a really important unit of ours. The Slovakians finally are active. Okay, he's not in Stani's level either. He retreated down here with his mountaineering forces. Interesting. Obviously, this is only a security division of ours. So, taking with it is a bit risky, but his units are bloodied here. So, yeah, it's still an easy attack in the end. Same thing here. And then we should be able to finishing this. Oh, come on. Retreat one further. Come on, cavalry. Yeah, okay, we got them this time. Without any casualties, a lot of surrenders. These units of ours can move on. these hexes. These are our mobile Hungarians with some light Toldi 2 tanks. So these are actually somewhat potent. We kind of want to keep them around Toldi 2s in slightly lower numbers. They have Ansaldo light tanks, so Italian L3 tanks basically. The 2 machine guns, light tankettes. Meanwhile, this one here has some LT40s and some LT35 and 38. Guess the LT40 being a slight upgraded version of this LT38. Still having a 37mm. So, 26, 15. Actually has less frontal armor. Okay. LT40 actually having less front and side armor. Being a 3-man tank. So it's a smaller version of. Okay. Interesting. Reliability, I think, is decent. Yeah, it's the same here. Fuel cost, slightly lower. Interesting. A tank that I have never heard of, the LT40. Like, obviously the LT35 and 38, or T30, Panzer 38T and 35T in German service from the Czechs, really well, and Slovaks really well known. The LT40, not so much. So interesting to see it here. Yeah, these Hungarians can't do anything. Now Army Group South has to do its job. Have 60th Motorized Division arriving here, being attached directly to Army Group South. This division here being under LE Corp coming in as well. We'll have to do catch-up duty. This one can't be moved yet. Oh no, it moved this far south. You have to go under this headquarter as well. The unit out of Warsaw. Like, one idea you can do with 4th Army, which I did in my last game, was moving it against in north towards Leningrad. Because Army Group North still can take more units, but as we this time don't want to take too much in the north, we go into the Pripyats with this, and this being our Pripyat cleanup force together with 43rd Corps. And I play against Nick the Trojan, a Wano player, and now obviously also a player of this game. You're directly under OKH. We got to change that. Question is, like, these corps still have base. 17th Army. Morale. Fly. How many units do you control? Don't know if 17th Army still has space for you. Let's check. 17th Army. No, it's already at its maximum. Army Group South in general, still doing somewhat fine. 6th Army still has space. So we gotta get you under some unit of 6th Army, I guess. This headquarter here, maybe. Yeah, that corps still has space. And 6th Army still has space as well. Same goes for this corps here. Can we put you under 6th Army? I feel that will slightly overdo it. But it is what it is. Better than the others. It's not as overloaded. as we move our units upwards to the front line. And it also makes sense with these units to put them under 6 army, as that will allow them to move on here. Feldbahn Division has repaired up here already. Oh, but this hex is the important one. Shit. We repaired the wrong hex last turn. Oh no. If we turn the units off, we repaired this hex here instead of this hex. Shit. Next turn at least up to Tarnopol. The other Feldbahn Division did their job as well. And then we have the Romanian one left. This one down here. Doing repair duty this turn. But that's up for the end of this. So yeah, these units here have to move up for now. And Army Group 6, everything here up to Zhytomyr and buried like all up to here, and then towards Kiev is Army Group 6 territory, and then this in between here up to Dnepropetrovsk is the job of 8th Army, no 17th Army, 17th Army. You can move all the way up there, okay. No units to be seen there. Okay. It is July already. Like, we have 2 more really good months in front of us. September still should be decent when it comes to weather. If we check weather report, get some, like, yeah, we get some rain over here, but that's not in our area, and this is also too far off. Maybe this comes down south, that would be annoying. But yeah, as you can see, clear for a lot of the year. Like, we have a couple of good months. Humid, cold, climate zones. Humid, cold is up here. Humid is all of this. Humid, warm down here. We go humid, warm. Still gives us till September. Temperature, humid gives us till the end of September. Temperature dry gives us till October. Temperature dry, we don't have too much of here though. That's more down here. Temperate, humid, we have a bit, but also not much. Like, humid, warm is the important part. So mid-September is where we get good weather, and then we get rain. And actually, yeah, humid, yeah, then we get 3 weeks of rain at least everywhere. Heavy rain, a couple of weeks in end of October, and then we get cold, and then we get snowfall. So yeah, only in September, in humid, warm, we at least only get that in December, so November should be decent. Here we have 1 or 2 weeks of cold where we can maybe do some maneuvers again, and then it gets bad again with the snow coming in. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting how we do this. Yes, a lot of units massed up here. These guys through Pishkov. Because he had this Tarnopol area. under control last turn. A lot of Proshkurov does retreat. He has some security forces left over here to just be an utter annoyance. They don't hold out against us, but they stop us from moving forward as fast as we want. Well, this here is a strike for the Hungarians. Oh, it's actually moved. The Hungarians and Romanians also can't go into the same hex because they utterly hate each other, but also they can't move north of this line. So moving your Hungarian and Romanian forces around each other is a bit of an annoyance. You can't use them in the same spearhead, but you can't move them up north. Like, if I could, I would just move the Hungarians at least into Army Group Center. But we can't do that. So we gotta use them here. Do an Hungarian attack here. Okay, we take the town. Wait, what unit are you controlling? Oh, you are controlling the... Okay, interesting. Yeah, this is the next unit that will move in here to strike one more. Once. The 1st Slovakian Mobile Brigade will rush all the way to the front line to do its first strike. To free up our armored formations here to do their job. Okay, job done. Hell of a lot of forces in front of us. Like, my idea was to go to Uman, but seeing all these units, it's a lot of split up units, I guess, of his here. South of Zhytomyr. This is a problem. I actually take relatively heavy casualties here. This is actually a strong force. Yeah, we kind of don't want to grind our way through here. It blocks our way pretty nicely. What to do? Okay, he has no units in here. Guess he has no unit up here either. No. How strong are his defenses over here? No defenses here. Does he have the river crossing open as well? Wow, okay. We can cross the river down here. Ivangorod. Okay, he has units up here. But they are rather weak. We move east here. Capture all of this. First motorized has to move up over here. Okay, this is supposedly a really easy attack. And it is. Okay. Okay, we take Uman. Not by the... way planned here. Then we take Uman. We have to reconsider here how to use our tank forces. Like maybe a strike north towards Zhytomyr along this line. Like using our tank forces for this attack is not what we want. That he cut our supply lines here means that we have way less movement points than hoped. This unit is an annoyance. Has to be beaten. Okay. Could be easily beaten now. Relatively. Romanian divisions down here. The Romanian mountain division, brigades actually, can move on. This cavalry formation will move on as well. And then yeah, we kind of have to cut them off over through here. We can get onto these rails. That would be really great to cut them off over here supply-wise. Like yeah, cutting the supply down here, already great. These two units should be easily, yeah, that's an easy victory. Ah. What a turn so far. 200,000 inflicted. Okay. You just need to take that rail. And then you can move on here as well. Get another Romanian infantry division. We have any intel here? 1.2. Don't have any intel about this hex. Using tank divisions for this attack here is, well, if we can get in, this will be a tough thing to break through to. Still have a lot of divisions to move up here. Yeah, that he blocked the road here was not great. You threw it in the south. Please clear this hex. Okay. Army group south. 70th Army moves up here to Tarnopol. Army group south is in Lviv. Yeah, together with 4th Leaguer. 17th Army has these directly under control. We already have a lot of units. Not so much. Let's put them under this core. '52nd Corps. Yeah. Under that command. Division is part of that as well. And move all the way up there. Obviously a lot of divisions that need supply through here now. Depot being built over here could be helpful. Still can afford a couple more depots this turn. Down here in the south, you need to build up this railway. Didn't. Oh, come on. Moving that hex. Okay, we crossed the river over here. Good capture over there. This up. That brigade stone cleanup around them is highly annoying. We can move this all the way up there, but we can't attack. That's highly frustrating. Just like this is highly frustrating that we build the railways so slowly. I mean, for build, but here we can do some attacks. That seems to be weak. It's a major river, so attacking anything that is strongly defended would be a issue. Here over the Dnepro. Okay, we got a river crossing here now. Obviously not the greatest, no roads over there. So only like light infrastructure to resupply this next turn. But it should allow us to strike down here next turn to defeat the enemy on the other side of the river. Yes, I'm pretty sure that he has entrenched this river crossing heavily. Like, that shouldn't be an easy capture. It should be quite a heavy fight. Oh, only 1.2 supposedly? But we don't have the firepower. We don't have the movement points anymore to do anything about it. Interesting, though. I guess he might not have the forces down here. Huh. That is interesting. We still have to decide what to do with our armored forces. We still have to decide about that. Okay. 16 still left. We can't move in there to spot further. This unit could move in there, possibly. How strong is this? This is weak. This is weak. And it's a river crossing. Let's call for air support. Let's get in there. Yes, we do. Okay, good. kind of want to smash this as well. It was a hard fight. Only 4 left. We need to beat this one here up as well. To a bloody pulp. Okay, that works out as well. So we cross it up here. Towards Jidomir. This one as well. Okay. And then we have a bit of an opening here towards Jidomir. Yeah, unit to move through without interference from the surrounding hexes. Okay. These are all beatable. The motorized core needs to move up here. We have one more unit with Viking still left here in the rear. Okay, these are the important moves this turn. That decide where we stand next turn. You can't move. Ha! Yeah, Jidomir itself we won't take. Moving you all the way there is super costly. He has a good defensive line. They held? Really? This time they don't. But we can't. We can't go anywhere anymore. Shit. This time we need to hold our reinforcement lines from his incursions. So, Leibstandarte moves back. We have this formation here still left. This is another motorized division. I feel like this moves with this motorized core. We still have a tank division left that can push deep. Like we need to get units up here. And set up for a pocket. Like yes, we could reinforce here next, but we already have some units moving there already. I feel like moving this south is the better idea. Why can't you? Does it really cost you that much to move on through that hex? Huh. This pincer is doing well right now. We need to reinforce that. And we need to also stop and prevent him from moving on to these hexes again and cutting this well-going pincer up from being resupplied. Okay, that's the 48th or 47th. 48th. Yeah. Okay, it can move further. Good job. Important moves there. Getting that formation up. This one up here. Move the tank one hex back again. These units move one north. Oh, we took Uman. That's nice. The Romanian armored tries to go down here. Germany's Luftlande. Out of this whole thing. Kotmia. Okay, you don't get any further. Shame. What a shame. It's a solid division. 11th Army. All the way up here. You just move there to clean up these axes. This railroad can be repaired as well. Will be really helpful. This infantry division can be merged together again. Take all of this. The division cleans up all of these hexes, but yeah, we need repair down here badly. We get another infantry division that can move from the rear here upward. And these become active in 5 turns. Keep an eye on this. 14 turns. These become active in 13 turns, 13 turns, 39 turns. That takes a while till the rest here becomes active. 55 turns. That's like more than a year. 8 turns. It's a bit weird when the Romanians become available. You always have to keep an eye on this. 5 turns, for example. Yeah, this one becomes active in 5 turns. 45 turns. Like they're also randomly spread out which one becomes active when. 11 turns. Hungarians become all relatively late available for more. Like, yeah, these are just for the defense here of Hungary itself. This one becomes available in a year, early next year, like all of these. And this one becomes active in 3 years. So yeah, next year we get a couple more Hungarians that can move places. We can't attack here anymore. We still have to move up the fort brigades. The headquarters accordingly. Can you all move up there? Yes, you can. I don't need you as brigades right now. Over here is not that deep anyway. Okay, can we not rebuild you? Okay, then we do that at the beginning of next turn. And this infantry division goes south next turn. Capture some stuff. Jaguar, this game is pretty difficult to learn. It has a massive manual, but well, I would say like getting the hang of it is not that hard, but it's a lot of things to do. And yeah, it's a lot of detail. Like in the end, everything here is detailed. Like every single unit, every single vehicle, and so on. But in the end, it's still bigger numbers beat smaller numbers, and you have to keep your supply. Like the absolute basics needs the time to get the hang of it. It has a lot of good automation, I would say. Like they really did a good job giving you a good AI assistance that actually also does work as solid AI assistance and not just like is a hindrance. Like yeah, it's not perfect, and as we play it multiplayer, I have to learn how to do stuff manually more than I did in the single player game, especially like when it comes to air and so on. But yeah, it still does a lot of things pretty decently on its own, so that when you play it in the first couple of turns, you can just leave what you want under your control, and the rest you can automate, like supply and so on, and you won't be super disappointed. Like, so yeah, if you really want to jump in deep, it is hard to learn because it's a lot of stuff. The manual is 300 pages, but if you want to learn by playing and so on, you can get into it relatively quickly. but it's still a lot of action per turn, as you can see. Like, we took now 2 hours for this turn number 3 again. Well, like, not quite 2 hours, but like around 2 hours. As we are finishing up now, and now we have to go back to the last thing on our menu, bringing reserves up from Berlin. And those have to go via rail. We have to consider where to put them. So we have 4 more divisions. Oberkommando der Luftwaffe is in Berlin as well. Could move up to Warsaw. Luftflotte 1 is up here. Luftflotte 2 is in Brest-Litovsk, right? Yes. And Luftwaffe 3 is in... Luftwaffe 4 is in... Over here. Luftwaffe 3 is the one in the Mediterranean. Okay, so now F2 and railway with these 4 divisions. I would say we send 1 more up north, because the north still can take a lot more units. And then we sent 2 to 4th Army for the Pripyat swamp cleanup duty stuff. And then we send 1 more south for strengthening our strike in the south directly. Like, the Pripyat swamp stuff should strengthen our southern stuff anyways. But yeah, this one here, moving all the way up here now. Yeah, let's get you back to normal move mode next turn. Okay, we will unload you next turn. 18th Army. Yeah, this corps still can take more units. You're under that corps now. Also, the way to the 4th Army is where we can still use railways. To some extent. Without blocking us completely up. So 1 goes north, 1 goes for the southern part. And then the rest. And then 1 more down to the far south. But we only gonna move them up. We can't get you off the trains, right? No. This rail is already yellow. Well, let's get you up to Lublin. Oh, we clicked the wrong way. And then that's where we end the turn. Let's go. Okay. And this one, yeah, that moves up to Lviv. Rail there is pretty good. Oh, and then we have to move up our 2 Slovakian units. Right. These units have to march. With 17th Army. Rail movement always takes a while. What do you mean, Wonka? When does my time run out to win? When we... I think 1943, if we don't take the win objectives there, but it becomes harder and harder to win as well. Like, we need more and more victory points. Like, for the first one, at turn 16, we need 700 victory points. Like, I mean, we can win in the late game as well if he can't push us back hard enough. But, like, for early wins, we need to basically beat all of the Soviet Union in 1943. And then we can't win offensively afterwards anymore. But we can still win by holding on to Moscow and stuff, if we hold on to that at that point. But basically to win early on, we possibly would need to get to Moscow till winter or to Stalingrad. Like yeah. Like for early victory, if we have a look here, no, that's not the one. It's this one. And we need to get 700 victory points. And as you can see, we are currently at 410, and each of these here are only 10 to 16. The plus number is if we take it earlier than historically, we get some extra points for it. Depending on how much earlier we take it. Like Smolensk is only +4 by now, because we are not that much earlier in front of timeline, and we didn't take it this turn, so we will most likely go down lower. Same with Pskov, we'll go to +1 or +2 next turn. And yeah, Kiev and so on, Odessa, it would be really worthwhile, but as you can see, getting 300 more points here basically, or 290 more points, is not that easy, and you kind of need to get either Moscow, that would be a big jump towards that, or Leningrad and Stalingrad, basically, to win at this point. And Sevastopol, which is also hard to get. So early victory is hard to achieve. I mean, yeah, the Soviet troops, I mean, he gets reinforced. Depends if he will outnumber me. It depends on how he does things. He can manipulate his production a bit. It's a bit like the Japanese in... Well, no, he can't do his production, but he can manipulate his units a bit. We get the units that we get, and then we have to manage them. He can create cores and so on when they get destroyed, but yeah, depending on how many casualties he takes, we outnumber. Like, he most likely will outnumber us later. Yeah, let's put it that way. He most likely will, but potentially we have the chance of obviously keeping that from him. And we move that infantry division forward. Oh yeah, we can. Okay, that's key. Move you up there. I hope he can't hit us here. We could move that back, but that's not of any great... That armored unit in there. So this is turn again. Yeah. This is turn. So to summarize, we made it in front of Pskov. We had some stuck attacks here. We moved our units up towards the north here. We cleared the last remaining units over here. We got up here, which is good. Towards Veliky, that is nice. We cleared up his remnants in the Daugavpils pocket. Really important. A lot of units in there. A lot of tanks in there. Especially. Not the greatest of tanks. And we will have a look at the logs for as well. We are in front of Smolensk. He gave us Orsha for free. He gave us Mogilev for free. He gave us Bobruisk for free. So he really wants to hold these lines and the swamps. Like, as you can see, he has a major formation here in the swamps. So possibly a counterattack later on here. We want to force him to get out of there by pushing down here, cutting off potentially in the swamps if he stays in the Pripyat marshes. Over here, we saw that he forced up his units over here. We were in front of his units over here last turn, but pushing through here is too much busy work. So we decided to go towards Zhytomyr up here in the north, try to outflank him this way, try to outflank him in the south this way, and maybe create a pocket over here that way. He gave us Rovno completely without a fight as well. Like, he is really playing Burnt Earth strategy completely to the maximum here already. Avoiding fights wherever possible. So yeah, the only issue is that he took this road hex here again, so our units here are coming up way slower than hoped. Like, potentially our the scores of 4th Army should be around here already, maybe. Like, our tank forces are faster than hoped, and these units are slower than hoped. If we have a look on when stuff was captured historically, this is 16th of July. We are already here at 6th of July. 20th of July. Like, we are already coming up here. Smolensk is not falling easily, though. So that might actually maybe even fall later than historically accurate. Like 16th of July up here and so on. That should fall potentially next turn. Maybe not though. That's a big question. And yeah, these units here are slowed down because he blocked our road there for a bit. Up here, Pskov fell 13th of July, so we potentially should have captured it this turn. We didn't quite get there, so we have to fight in their next turn. And down here, we are basically somewhat online as well. As you can see, 21st and so on. So this is all fine as well. Up here, we should have been a bit faster, maybe. We maybe didn't move quite enough forces towards Rozhanov early on, but we have them there now. Yeah, this is all nasty as well. It's really hard to like. These numbers show you how impressively fast the Germans were in the early war. Here we are a bit ahead of schedule, but that's because we push a bit differently. But if we try to cut these off with our tank formation, that would be great. He can't all evacuate them towards Odessa. So yeah, that's the turn. We also, I think, build our supply hubs where we wanted them. Let's have a look on the losses at the end of the turn. So nearly 200,000 for him, 10,000 for nearly 10,000 for us. 1,200 tanks destroyed this turn. If we have a look on what kind of tanks those were, a lot of T-26s again, but also a good amount of OT and a couple of KV-1s. A lot of BT-7s. Army in the north, he had a lot of BT-7s here. 400 BT-7s. T-34s, another 100 destroyed this turn. So that's good as well. The 1941 models. So freshly out of production lines. Yeah, 2,800 guns destroyed this turn. So it's, I would say, a good turn in general. We just took 2 hours. Malo mentioned, but the first couple of turns are also obviously taking longer than later on. Like later on, you can, and against AI, I would say you can play a turn in like 40 minutes or so, but still a lot of work. Like a campaign takes you 100 hours plus to fully play through. Like for my first campaign, it took me 110 hours or so. And yeah, we took a couple of, these were in front of Pskov in the north, 26 Panzer 35Ts. Good couple of Panzer 2s damaged as well. So those are our most losses, then a couple of Panzer 3s and 4s, not too many, but we don't have that many of those, so every one loss there is big as well. But obviously, currently the numbers are still good. Air losses, we didn't get too many on the grounds. We only destroyed 15 on the ground. I thought we overran more airfields than we did. Bit of a shame, but he really is on full flight mode. So yeah, we're doing somewhat close to historically accurate so far in speed, I would say. And big question is where we can create pockets. And casualties inflicted, I think we are slightly ahead, but only slightly. Like at least compared to what the AI does, we are slightly ahead now. Even though he did full flight mode, and like maybe. Like the big question is how many casualties we will inflict in July and August. And if we can go up over the 1.5 million number and so on quickly. Like if we have a look on the graphs, and the manpower losses are obviously really different. When we look at total man, they still go up for the Soviets, even though we inflict such high casualties. We have currently 4.7 million men in our order in battle. The bigger question is though on the map. On the map, man, we have 4.7. They have 2.9 million on the map. And we will try, but obviously against the real opponent during the encirclements is not as easy. As you can see, he blocked us a couple of times by now already. Gun-wise, he's behind us as well, but even though we inflict such high casualties, like 2,000 more guns destroyed this turn, he's still going up there as well, bringing up reserves. Armored vehicles, he dropped down to 9,500, but it somehow went up even though he took heavy casualties. Next turn he should dive down a bit. But yeah, he's still up there at 9,500. Armored fighting vehicles in general, 12,000 versus 6,700. Aircraft, he's still dipping, but he's still ahead of us there as well on the map. Manpower is the biggest advantage we have. Yeah, it's turn by turn. We send him the turn now, and he plays his turn then. It's turn based. It's sadly not a Vigo system, but yeah, he doesn't have to be online. We upload the turn now. We're gonna end the turn here, and we're gonna send the turn to him now. We just want to have a look on the supply hexes. Yeah, we have a supply dump up there, supply dump up there. Repair it up here this turn, right? Yes. Not over here, so sending up supply center over here doesn't make sense. Have one in Minsk already. These are all not important. This is not close enough to make it worthwhile. We make it here. Next turn to Kishinev. Then we will do a supply dump there. And then we can build the depot already. Doesn't cost us anything extra. Let's do that already. So then we next turn when we get there, we can do that. And he won't overrun it this turn, so it doesn't really cost us. Okay. Yeah. We have everything done now. We have to move all units up. These railway units do the repairs slowly here. So this will be up and running soon. Hopefully getting us maybe a bit more rail through this way to Riga. Not all having to run through this most likely soon overburdened rail line up north. Currently it's still doing fine, but soon it won't. And then we really want the supply out of Riga. Like currently units still supply out of these rear hexes. That's not something we want happen. This one can maybe go down in priority to priority 3. Here we have this hex. Oh, we can build a depot here. That's one more good hex for a depot. It won't get much, but it might help out these units over here. Yeah, and that's a priority 4 hex. Port, priority 3, priority 3. Okay. So yeah, Vilnius and Milodoshne will be really important for resupplying of Army Group Center next turn. And then hopefully the turn after we can get Minsk and maybe up towards Krupki. And then up with the other repair one that should come up to Minsk hopefully as well. And then towards Bobruisk. Like those are the main railways. Also here we have the beginning of the highway Minsk-Moscow, which is super important for our supplies as well. Sadly, no highway directly going into the Soviet Union, but the one in here through Orsha. So super important that we captured Orsha will be key. It's play by email, yeah. Any other countries? He only has the Soviet Union at the moment. There is there are different games, War in the East and War in the Pacific. There's currently no full World War II game. They might do a War in Europe game eventually, but obviously the detail level already is super high, and like you see how much that takes. And keeping it historically accurate and giving more equations into it, the game obviously would be hard. I'm pretty sure the game would start in 1941. Maybe has some 1940 and 1939 campaigns, but if they do a grand campaign, I'm pretty sure the start date would be 1941, because otherwise the game wouldn't manage diplomacy and so on well. So like doing the southern stuff and so on would be hard, and it does combat amazingly, but all the other things would be a bit tough. So yeah, I kind of expect if they will do a 1941 one where you then also have North Africa and later on the Western Allies. Currently there's a 1943 till 1945 War in the East, War in the West game, and then War in the East 1 and War in the East 2 for 1941 till 1945. The war against the Soviet Union. And then there's War in the Pacific, which is the oldest of them all, which also has a different combat system with a Vigo system. And in my eyes, it's still the best game, but it's really outdated in its mechanics. A remake of that game would be my wet dream. There are other start dates. There's a later start dates, not earlier though. Like you have start dates with starting like Stalingrad to Moscow campaign and so on, where you already start with I don't know if there's a I think there's a foul plow one as well, and then there's a Stalingrad to Moscow, like 1942 and 1943 start dates. Yes, but like yes, there's a lot of dice rolls, but they calculate like everything is so highly calculated that the die rolls even out over time, especially, and you have a lot of calculations going. Like everything gets calculated basically, and then die rolls going on around, depending on supply situations, depending on combat values, depending on how close you are to your headquarters and how the quality of your officers' corps as well. Super, really important thing as well. Adolf Kunze, for example, could maybe be replaced. That's something that we could look at next turn. He is not amazing. His morale, initiative, and admin are not amazing. That's something we could look at next turn, but for now, we're gonna end it here. And we gotta give it over to Nick. So, yes, we did the depot management ourselves. And we give it to him now. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you next turn, and let's see how it goes.